Um, Thank you for coming. It's a beautiful day outside, I guess, relatively speaking, right, compared to last week? No, it's not a good day outside. But anyway, we've been doing a bunch of these fix and flips, and for me, again, I think we're getting a lot of success, a lot of traction, but I'm also putting this together because ultimately, what I'd like to see is folks are here for a reason. Either you're thinking about doing a deal, you've never done a deal, you'd like to do a deal, and there's a lot of information out there. Thank you. There's a lot of information out there, and you just know where to start. You know, what should I do? Who should I talk to? And I remember when I first started, it's just there's a lot of information overload. You know, and sometimes when you have information overload, you can't execute. So over time, I guess I've been blessed enough to where I figured out, like, people are asking me to mentor them, and I'm trying to figure out how can I make that work? How can I grow my team but still not lose my time, if that makes any sense? So when we have events like this, it's almost like a crash course, but it's really put together to help you say, hey, okay, now I know if I really want to do this, let me see if I can partner up with Andrew or whoever it is that that's experienced based on being able to do this on a consistent basis. So again, welcome. My name again is Andrew Mayamba, and Andrew Mayamba LLC is the entity that I use to acquire my properties. Okay, I'm a real estate licensed listing broker, investor, and for the most part, most folks are here for a reason. Is it time? Is it just spending? You want to get more money? Is it relationships? Is it just the knowledge? You're here for a reason. And for me, I think the biggest thing as to why I started doing flips, being a broker and an investor, is I wanted the money, but also the time. Quick scenario, if you're a real estate agent, let's say you're buying a house or you're helping a seller, sell a property, you're getting about 3% commission on, let's say, $200,000, that's about $5,000, give or take. But you don't have the time. You're running around constantly, you're doing showings, so it takes you 20 showings to do like maybe one property, right? So ultimately, I figured out really quickly that I want to be able to have more time, but I also want to make more money. And so the flips does that for me. When I buy and sell quickly, I'm able to do that. So we'll do a deal like this in 3 months, and if you're making, let's say, $40,000, that's getting my time back, right? So if you either, like I said, subscribing to either one of those things or all of those things, then this is what it's really all about for doing this. I'm Andrew again, like I said. I'm from Kenya originally, went to Hamlin for my undergrad. I was a social justice major. This is after like maybe 2 to 3 years not knowing what I was supposed to do. I finally declared when it's like, yeah, we're taking all these classes, and you're like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I finally declared, and I said, okay, I'll do social justice. And social justice is a way to get out of there really quickly. That's the true story. The truth. Hey, is there a passion in social justice? Yeah, trust me, I'm all about it. But to be honest with you, I was a biology major. Most of my friends are doctors, research biologists, chemists, and I love biology, but I couldn't afford to keep doing that. Right? You quickly figure out, going into your junior year when you have to declare that, hey, I have labs, I have lecture, and I don't have the time. And as an immigrant at the time, you're trying to figure things out. So you really quickly figure out that college is not cheap. And so I figured out, I looked at the curriculum, I said, okay, what's the best way to get out of here without having to incur any additional costs? And so social justice was kind of like one of those things that, oh, great, we're here, let's take this and be done with. Again, I'm a godfather, I'm an uncle, I'm a husband, and that's Luna, my pet. And she does most of the showings. Now, the purpose of this meeting today is to inform you about Andrew Mayamba LLC, offering of education services. You will not be asked to make any purchases or decisions at the end of this presentation. If you need more information, let me know. I'm not a licensed attorney, accountant, or financial advisor. And even if I have a license, which I'm a broker, I'm not acting in that capacity. Therefore, I will not discuss or provide any specific counsel. Advice, instruction that would apply to a specific individuals. This presentation is intended for information only. Now, let's go back about 7 years ago when I first transitioned from what I was, I was an agent showing a bunch of houses in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Queen Rapids. And I decided, well, I looked at this house, and this looked like a great idea. When I was looking at the property, I said, well, I want to make an offer on the property. And I made an offer. It needed a lot of work. As you can tell here, carpet in the kitchen. This was the kitchen. And I think the owners were in foreclosure, and then they waited until the last day of the redemption, pretty much said, we're out of here, packed up everything, and they left. And so I bought this place, $80,000, or I think $89,000 was my first offer, highest and best. And they said, hey, do you want to increase your offer? I said, no, we'll keep it at that. And then my offer was accepted, but I didn't have the money, right? So I figured out really quickly. There was a company out in, I think it was New York. I was pitching the deal. They weren't buying. I pitched the deal again to the companies out in California. Lenders, hard money lenders, private lenders, they were not buying into it. And what I figured out really quickly is, no matter how good a deal is, okay, you might have the best deal possible, but if the lenders are out of town or not far removed from where you are in your local market, it's hard for them to say yes. So they said yes, they said no, and I finally focused to a local lender. Local lender said yes, I'll give you the $89,000. Well, the $89,000, how much you need for the rehab? I said, I need $20,000. I said, I tell you what, we'll say yes to $89,000, but if you have $20,000, we'll lend it to you. I didn't have $20,000. So anyway, again, phone call, and I finally got somebody to give me $20,000 to do the deal, okay? And this is what it looked like before in the interior, and this is what it looked like in the after. So I didn't have the money to do new siding, but cedar shake, we just painted the door. My fiancée, well, my wife at the time, or girlfriend's mom, helped me with the landscaping. We resurfaced the hardwood flooring, and then paint. And we've transitioned since then from, and some folks subscribe to doing this. I choose now, going forward, to just do new flooring. Okay. There was a wall here which we took off. And then we put a tempered glass, so that allows you to go to the basement. And this is an existing addition when we bought the property. This was all unfinished, lower levels unfinished. So again, to get the value in the property is really to finish your square footage. So I think I was able to almost double the square footage on this property. Now the funny thing is, I ended up actually netting $250 as my profit. I was anticipating about $40,000. Very hard lesson to learn, but the mistakes that I made doing this have not been repeated since, okay? Now, the real estate progression, most folks starting off, I'm assuming, unless you are, born into money or, got some money from somewhere, kind of start off here. I remember when I used to have a job, you start as an employee and you try to leverage that, you're working part time, and what are you doing as you try and grow your career, especially in real estate. You're really trying to create more time, you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I get more, right? And more and work less. So, now you move to self-employed. Now you own a job. You're constantly running around, figuring out how to do things and create your own time. Business owner. Most business owners create systems to work for themselves, so they create systems. And ultimately, as an investor, you make money work for you. And you're not trading your hours for dollars. So they're only 24 hours a day. And so I guess the goal is, how do you do that? How do you figure out a way to where you can easily progress from where you are right now to get to that point where you don't have to keep working for money, okay? Now, to get in real estate, there are a few ways to do this. And for me, what I found out really quickly, that as you start, the level of risk varies from one to the other, right? You have you just might just keep that down just a little bit. The level of risk as you start off is at its peak with wholesaling. And the efforts, so wholesalers, fix and flips, buy and holds, and you're a lender, right? As a wholesaler, you're doing a lot of work. You're doing a lot of running around. You're making a lot of offers. You're constantly looking for deals, but the level of risk is not really, that high. Fix and flips, your level of effort is medium to, I want to say, low. However, your risk switches direction and how things are going in the economy, are you able to successfully exit off the properties or those assets without getting any sort of financial harm or ruin? So before you go in, then you need to be able to master all those three things. Okay. Now, what I found over time is if you were able to, I would like to call it a transactional engineer, being able to identify opportunities within the marketplace when it comes to real estate, that's what makes you most successful. I don't pigeon myself as I'm just a broker or I'm just a fix and flipper. I try and find ways to generate revenue within the real estate sphere, okay? And what does that entail? Acquisition. We have a capacity when it comes to how many deals we can successfully do. Right now, we're maybe about 6 deals that we're doing, okay? Some are under contract, some are going through rehab, but we're constantly always buying. We are always, looking for, pre-foreclosure, okay? So this is typically what we entail when it comes to acquisition. Funding strategies, I'm constantly looking for cheaper capital. I'm always looking for creative ways to acquire these deals. I have hard money lenders on board. I have private investors on board. I have folks just looking for a better return, okay? And then the exit strategies, when we find these properties, how are we liquidating them? Okay, how are we, getting rid of the properties, but also making sure we are keen on our bottom lines and making sure we're creating a profit for the business. So there's different ways, but if you were able to master a few of these things, then I think it's very easy for you to be successful in real estate. This has been, I want to say, maybe our last quarter to where we are now. Some of the deals that we've done. Bunch of them over the metro area, South Minneapolis, St. Paul is going through a rehab, Columbia Heights, Little Canada on the market. This one sold in South Minneapolis. That was Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and that's another Brooklyn Center. So we've been able to do quite a number of deals over the last year, and we're still doing many, many more as we go along. Okay, this is one of our South Minneapolis properties that we sold before. It's kitchen. You used to see like right here. I think we added a little bit of a porch, and then I think we had a little bit of a French door here. The siding is existing. Folks were asking me, "Was that new siding?" No, we just painted. This was yellow. So I think the yellow is a little bit of an older color, so we ended up doing something more modern, and that's what it looked like after we're done. Brooklyn Park. This particular deal, South Minneapolis. Now, how I acquired this particular property. I got it from a wholesaler, and I think there was a veteran who was actually just kind of tired of the city life. He wanted to move up north, and they offered him cash, and they turned around and came to me and said, "Andrew, I know you like to participate in the South Minneapolis market." Came in, made my offer. I bought it for, I think, $168. So $168 was what I bought it for, and this is what it looked like before. So I think you folks are now currently sitting here. This was the kitchens, so the bathroom, the colors, and the bedrooms, and that's the bathroom. This is what the lower level used to look like. So when you went downstairs, you'd walk on your left, there's one bedroom, and this used to be somewhat of a bedroom. And then the other bedroom down, this is the living room now. I'm sorry, family room. My numbers. Now, my numbers, and again, these are my numbers. Every investor is different, depending on how you acquire, depending on what your team has bought into. My team has bought into volume, and so my numbers, when it comes to my rehab numbers are pretty conservative. And you might say, "Andrew, there's no way you'll do a deal like that." And then I've had people, come to me and say, "No, I do volume," and so I'm able to cut my costs significantly based on that. So I got this for about $168. My rehab costs are about $40,000. My total holding costs, not including sale, $3,000. What are the holding costs? That includes my insurance on the property. That includes water bills, anything you can think about. Having somebody run back and forth to make sure that things are going according to plan. Financing costs. I have a hard money lender on this deal, and then my cost basis. This is where I am, and then total amount financed. My total cash committed. My projected resale for this area is about $269, $270. Cost of sale, And that includes your buyer's closing cost, seller's commission, the agent's commission. And my numbers, again, are a little bit lower because I'm able to, save money by not paying another agent. So I'll pay myself. I'll also negotiate. If they have a 3% buyer's closing cost, I'm able to counter offer and say, okay, we'll cover your closing costs as long as you increase your sales price. So there's kind of different ways to help you lower those costs. So on this particular property, this is now going into month 3 with about 2 weeks out. I'm anticipating about a $44,000 profit once we're all said and done. And then we can go into the ROIs and all that stuff. Again, there are so many opportunities within the real estate sphere. And why I do these things now is because when I first started, I didn't know if anybody was doing real estate. And the ones who did, I can tell you this, they can either charge you a significant amount of money to give you that information, or they will lead you on, or they're not transparent about, again, what's in your best interest, okay? So when I put this together, my idea is I see an environment where we come together, folks are bringing ideas, folks are bringing either capital, or folks are saying, I don't know where to start. What should I do? I just want to be a bird dog. I want to be able to find deals and bring you deals, and let's figure out a way to do them. I am also transitioning to other things as far as real estate. I want to do bigger deals, commercial deals, apartments, right? And this is easy for me, right? But I also know that everybody has a first day. If you want to do this, and great, let's come on board, let's figure out how to make this work. But it's really designed to help you grow your business. It's designed to have an environment where, as you come together, you're able to kind of exchange ideas and see what's working and what's not working. And that's why I'm excited about where we are heading forward. We have a great investment community we put together, and we're growing, and we're looking for more folks to either come in and participate in what we're doing on a daily basis. You don't have to have the capital to do anything. Just come in, learn, figure out what your niche is, and let's grow together. All right. Thank you again, and thank you for coming. If you have any questions, I'll take them right now.
You make an estimate of how much you're going to gain after you do the fix. How do you determine that?
Thank you. Now let's go to the next slide. Yeah. And sorry, I think I missed the slide. So let's go here. Valuation. Yep.
The top?
All the way to the top. And maybe we can scroll as we go along. Okay, so scroll. So here's my comp analysis. And what is a comp analysis? For most folks, and again, we can go deeper for a different day, but for right now, I'll just lightly touch on it. When you're looking at a property, this is a subject property. I'm looking to match apples to apples, okay? Not apples to oranges, apples to apples. So when I'm looking at my comps, initially when I got this property, this was about maybe a 3-bedroom property, right? 3 bedrooms. And I'm gonna turn it into a 5-bedroom, all right? My square footage at the time was, I think, about 1,000, give or take. Now, what I'm looking at was my ARV. What is it gonna look like when I'm done, right? So I'm comping it out, or I'm comparing it to 5-bedroom properties that I've sold recently within I want to say, half-a-mile radius of this subject property. And depending on values, if you go this side of the town, the values are not as high as compared to if you're going to the other side of town, 35. So 5-bedroom property in this area, what are they selling for? I'll pull out the comps. I'll look at okay. And I'm also looking for if I can find any rehab comps, properties that I've sold and that have been renovated and look like similar. What are they going for? And that's really the best way for me to figure out value. And I'll go in, I'll pick them out, and if there's new windows, if there's new flooring, thank you. If there's new flooring, if there's new deck or things like that. So there's the certain things that, as far as from a value add perspective on a property, anytime you add finished square footage, that's really where the value is. So if you're looking for a deal, you're looking for, when I walk in, the first thing I'm looking for, how can I really significantly increase the value? Because you can only granite and painting and flooring, that can only bring so much value in a property. when an appraiser walks in, typically they don't know if the property is new or not. So they're going based off the prior history, right? So what I'm able to do is say, hey, when I'm doing the appraisal, I'll send them a list, an itemized list of all the improvements that I've done to the property. So please consider this as part of your opinion of value. And so you present that, and they'll say, I did new flooring, I did new, and you're not trying to steer them.
Saturday, we're looking for more people to join the team, more people, more real estate can be done, whether you're new, whether you're seasoned, everyone's welcome. So get in contact with the person who invited you. We have a process for how we introduce you to our team. And so we'll just go from there. So thanks everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.